Yes, I do believe in miracles. This movie, yes, there's a cool moment in this movie that happens.
It seemed like such a fun set, like watching it. We're just having so much fun the entire time.
When you read about miracles in the Bible, miracles were instantaneous. It really was fun and improvised. We could kind of do whatever we wanted. And that was really a scene that I, looking back on it, really had a great time filming.
Can you tell us a little bit about your character?
Yeah, so I play Paul Tannen. I'm married to Jessica Tannen. We have 3 kids, and we're just your regular American family. We all love each other, have a lot of fun together, kind of a silly family. We put on this talent show every year around the holidays. It's called the Tannenbaum Talent Show. And the one thing in the story that is different is that my wife Jessica was in a car accident when she was a child, and so she's got an ailment. She's got advancing arthritis. She has to use a cane to get around, but she's also an overachiever. So everybody around her kind of tries to build her up all the time. And anyway, but we're still, a lot of fun. It's a great family. And then, of course, it's the holidays and everybody else shows up, and then it becomes a lot of chaos.
That's true. I'm watching it, I was like, this seems so much like my family. Watching the Christmas, like all the different Are there any other ways that do you relate to Paul in that kind of dynamic?
Yeah, I think maybe that was one of the things that I was drawn to is I found some similarities to my own life, and family is so important to me. I mean, I come from a similar sized family, a family that's pretty, loves to play and silly, and we have a great time. We love the holiday season. And, what I liked about Paul is he's pretty stable. He's the stable kind of core of the family, which is great and important. And, but he's pretty playful and not willing. I mean, he's willing to look like a goofball, and that's me as well. That always doesn't happen in certain roles I play. A lot of times I'm playing pretty serious roles. And so this was fun to kind of let loose and just be a goofball.
It seemed like such a fun set, like watching it. It looked like you guys were just having so much fun the entire time. Was there a favorite scene for you to film?
Yeah, there was a lot. There was like I said, some of the scenes, I don't want to give things away, but there was some fun scenes that were, part of some of the practical jokes we play on each other as a family. But there's this one scene where it's kind of the end of the day. We've had a big meal, and the guys split up and go downstairs to watch a movie, and the gals are upstairs to watch a movie. And it's funny because we're both watching movies that are kind of making us cry a little bit. You think the guys are going to go down and be really strong, and they're going to go down and watch some action picture. But what's fun is what comes after that is this. We all just start breaking out in song and singing Christmas carols, and we all come together in this one big kind of crescendo. And it was just fun because we were all going for it, and then Corey dropped in some slow-mo stuff in it, and it really was fun and improvised. We were kind of we could kind of do whatever we wanted. We all had these crazy instruments, and that was really a scene that I, looking back on it, really had a great time filming.
That was actually one of my favorite moments. I love seeing. That was one of my favorite scenes. That one, yes, the movie, then the lead into the breakout in song. I loved that one.
Yeah, it was just good because and the other thing was great about that is we were all together. It was the entire cast, even the dog. It was just like, and that was a fun night. And it was at the end of the day, so we knew we were going home at the end of the day. It was just a feel good scene. So, and the energy was fun, and we all got to sing and be silly. So,
I love that. I love that. I wanted to know, with the movie, it's so heartfelt. Was there a line or a moment that really has just stuck with you?
Yeah, there What again? I don't want to give away the whole movie, but um, uh, Emily, who plays my wife Jessica, she has a really powerful moment, scene, if you will, at the near the end of the movie, where it's a life transforming moment for her. And as a viewer, because I've watched the movie, it really resonated with me too, and I think it will with audiences. And I don't want to give it away too much, but it encapsulates a lot of what you and I have just been talking about having a full life and not overthinking or always trying or working so hard or trying to control everything. There's a lot of things in our life that are out of our control that we try to control and that we can't. And there really is a blessing in surrender, and when I say surrender, what I'm referring to, at least for me, is surrendering to God and just saying, hey, I trust you. Life is hard. Hard stuff happens. Bad stuff happens to everybody. Good stuff happens to everybody, but you have to kind of surrender. There's a lot of stuff just out of our control. And yet we put a lot of effort into trying to control things that we can't control. So there's a great message in that about faith and love and family in this film that is weaved throughout the story, which I absolutely love. And, I've done many interviews where I've told people one of my favorite movies of all time is It's a Wonderful Life. And, there's themes of that movie that run through this film. Yeah. So that's what I liked about it as well.
And this movie also talks about miracles. Have you, in your own personal life, have you ever experienced a miracle?
That's a great question, and I have. And here's the thing. I actually just had a conversation with a friend of mine who's a pastor recently about this. And when you read about miracles in the Bible, miracles were instantaneous. They're not like, hey, I hope you get better from this illness, and then over months and years you're doing treatment or whatever, and then you get better. Miracles happen instantly. Like someone's leg was broken and it was healed instantly. Right. So so I'm very careful when I talk about these things, because a lot of times there are things that someone might consider a miracle, and I don't want to say it wasn't or it was or wasn't, but I want to be careful about that. So I can only talk about what's happened to me, and I'll tell you two quick things. One was I had an infection in my eye one time, and it was terrible. And I was in a lot of pain. I couldn't open my eye, and I'm an actor. I got to have my eyes, right? And I was at church one night in Altadena, California, and our pastor, Bishop Grant Simpson, asked if anybody wanted prayer for whatever. And I stood up and I went up and I said, yeah, my eye's infected and it's just really bothering me. And he put his hand on my eye and he prayed for me, and I sat down, and 15 minutes later, it was completely gone. So to me, I consider that a miracle. Like I said, I've not experienced these things very often. I mean, I had a brother who passed away from cancer. We prayed for him a lot. He didn't make it. So that was not part of God's plan. But in this particular moment, that happened, and I considered that a miracle. And then the only other thing I can tell you about, and I've talked about this before, is years ago, I was driving down the 101 at 2:30 in the morning, going to downtown Los Angeles. I was on my way home from play rehearsal, and you live in LA, and you know that the 101 freeway is really windy. Yeah. And I was on the freeway 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, and there wasn't a soul on the freeway except me. And I was driving along, and I had my top down in my car. It was an old car. It only had a lap belt, no airbags. The car was built like in the early 80s. And I was in the fast lane, and I heard a voice in my head. It was like my voice, but it was my conscience said, get in the slow lane. And I thought, get in the slow lane? That's weird. I mean, there's nobody on the way. So I heard it again. I turned the radio down, and I thought maybe God's saying, I'm like, God, are you telling me to get in the slow lane? And then it was like very adamant, get in the slow lane. And I went, all right. And I'd never had a conversation like this before. So I was like, so I took it serious. I got over in the slow lane and the freeway started bending to the left. And as I came around the corner, there was these huge, if you drive on the 101, you'll know there's these huge cement retaining walls between the east side of the freeway and the west side. And as I was coming around the bend, a car was coming the other direction in my lane with its headlights off, a white station wagon. And it was coming, and had I not moved, I would have hit him head on. And so to me, that was a miracle to me, because I heard a voice in my head. There was no way I would have known the car was coming. I couldn't see it. It didn't have headlights on. It was around a bend. And so those kind of things happen. And listen, I know that people don't make it. People do die in car accidents. People get sick and pass away. Things happen. And one day it'll be my time. But in those moments in life, sometimes things happen that are unexplainable, and they happen. So yes, I do believe in miracles. This movie, yes, there's a cool moment in this movie that happens. And the way that Corey, the director, and the writers played this miracle out in the movie is beautiful, the way they handled it. And it's very powerful, because there's another character that's involved, and I'm not going to say anything, but there's another character that's involved in this miracle, and their story is very different, and it's so beautiful. So to answer it's a long-winded answer, but yeah, I've had a couple of things in my life, and then in my family's life as well, but I'm not going to go into that now. But there have been miracles throughout our life, even before I was born, in my grandparents' life, that I learned later in my life about that happened to them. And, for whatever reason, that's been God's plan, and those things have happened.
That's amazing. And lastly, what do you hope audiences take away after seeing this movie?
I hope that they go away feeling really good, and that they are entertained, they laugh, they cry, and that they want to share this movie with other people, and that they watch it year after year, because it's a Christmas, it's a holiday movie. But most importantly, I hope that they can gather their family and friends together and see this movie, and that they just go away just feeling really great.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Eric. It's been great talking to you. I am hopeful that people go and see this movie, and I really want to know what people experience, what they feel, and what revelations they get.
Yeah, I think they're going to feel really good about it, and it's a feel-good movie. It's, like I said, it's family, love, faith, and a lot of silliness, and it's important. We need that. We always need it, but especially right now.
Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below. And if you want more content like this, head over to movieguide.org. Movieguide is a nonprofit organization, and we are supported every day by viewers like you.